Hello, I am Pastor Stanley Cujo Kara, sharing from the book titled, The Turning Away, Change in Mindset. Chapter 2, Not Just Feeling Guilty. Acts 24 verse 2, 5 KJV. And as he reasoned of righteousness, temperance, and judgment to come, Felix trembled and answered, Go thy way, for this time, when I have a convenient season, I will call for thee. Dikaiosune is the Greek word for righteousness. In a broad sense, it is the state of one who is as he or she ought to be, the doctrine concerning the way in which man may attain a state approved by God, being a person of integrity, virtue, purity of life, rightness, and correctness of thinking, feeling, and acting. What you feed your soul determines your temperance, which in the Greek language is known as egkrateia, meaning self-control, the virtue of one who masters his desires and passions, especially his sensual appetites. When Paul reasoned about righteousness and temperance, he was providing an atmosphere conducive for Felix to examine his heart and see where he stood in his relationship with God. Hence, we hear Felix say, When I have a convenient season, I will call for thee. The above scenario reminds me of a time in history in 2010 during a big church meeting. I attended a church meeting, and in that meeting, there was a guest speaker, prolific in her own right. She spoke in the meeting and received a remarkable response, especially from the people I was sitting next to. For me, I was taking more notes as opposed to shouting and jumping all over the place, because I knew as well as understood that the only thing that was going to bring a divine turnaround in my life was the words this lady was going to speak. From a very young age, I had always known that words create worlds and pragmatic concepts of life that are undeniable. The ear is a gate that gives one access to the soul. The scriptures record that Felix trembled, and the Greek word translated trembled is emphobos, which conveys the thought of being thrown into fear, terrified, or affrighted. Though fear of the consequences of leading a lawless life may lead one to turn away, not everyone who feels guilty will repent of their wicked ways. Felix felt guilty, but he didn't change his ways. Your feeling of guilt should be accompanied by a conviction and desire to change. You should sense the need to change and turn away from your empty way of life, causing the eyes of your understanding to be enlightened, bringing you a great sense of purpose.